connections so that you are stronger. And you say, well, how do I build those connections? Let me give you a few examples. You get on your social media and you say, happy birthday. Congratulations on your daughter's wedding. Congratulations on the new grandbaby. Whatever it is. You know, Facebook gives you everyone's birthdays every day. And guess what? That's one of the first things I do, even if I don't know that person. Somehow they're on my friends list. Probably because SpongeBob is friends with Scooby-Doo and, you know, it recognized it and I clicked, yes, let's be friends. But we're not really friends because I haven't connected with them. But every single morning when I get up, I put on there, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. And then I go through and time it because the rabbit goes down in the hole and you're on your Facebook feed for 3 hours later. Time yourself. I give myself about 10 minutes every morning and I go through my feed and I look for whose birthday it is, congratulations on the new baby, a wedding coming up, whatever it is. Just bought a ski lift, whatever it is. I was on vacation. Recognize it. Comment at least 5 words. Put an emoji on it. And then Facebook recognizes it. Guess what? The person you just commented, they recognize it also. Now I want to go farther and I DM them and say, hey, let's have a virtual coffee chat. How many have done that? When is the last time you had a virtual coffee chat? You need to have those every day. You need to have your calendar full. Who has a Google Calendar or a calendar very similar? It needs to be filled. Today, mine's all in blue because I'm here. Tomorrow, mine's all in blue because I'm here. But on Saturday, since I took today and tomorrow out of the office, I'm working Saturday to make up for it because I can't lose those connections. That's what builds my business, is connecting, networking, and collaboration. And why not? Why aren't you doing it? Are you scared? Well, you're virtual, so they can't hit you. All they can do is hang up on you. And you know, we carry these devices called the phone. When is the last time you picked up your phone and talked to a connection? That's just something we don't do anymore. But why not? Why not? Maybe they don't answer. Leave a message. Maybe they don't call you back. Wait a week and do it again. Do it again until they tell you, no, I do not want to talk to you. Okay? You keep on connecting with these people. They're on your friends list for a reason. And you know what? If they don't get back with you and they don't want to communicate with you, why are they in your space? You have a bubble. It's only so big. Only so many people can fit in your bubble. So if they're causing drama, that's the first person out of my bubble. You're causing drama, out. I don't have time for that. I've been married over 40 years. I have 2 grown daughters, 4 grandchildren. That's all the drama I need. So drama is out of my bubble. Now, one day they may be calm and cool and want to come back to my bubble. And if I have room, of course they can come back. But they're not good for me right now. If they don't return my calls, I can clean out that one and add a new one to my Facebook because I can only have 5,000. Okay? So what I'm telling you is always keep new blood in your connection build. Because Johnny only wants to hear your story a few times, and then you need to change your story. Okay? Get new people in your pipeline. It's like feeding a puppy. You get a brand new puppy, and you feed him, he's happy. He grows taller and taller and stronger. You get him housebroken, he's a good puppy. Don't feed that puppy and see what happens. That puppy's not happy. You're not going to get him housebroken because he's unhappy. Treat your relationships with a strong opinion of yourself. How do you want to be called upon? How do you want to be treated when it's time to be connected with, networking with, collaborating with? There's a time when you have to say, I'm going to let you go for a short time, and then maybe you can come back to my bubble. The bubble is high-end real estate. I know there's a lot of investors in the room, so you understand what I'm talking about. There's green grass, it's beautiful, only so many people can fit, and then you have to close your bubble. But you're always adding new to it, because you'll always have 1, 2, or 100 that you really don't know. Or maybe you don't want to get to know them. Maybe they're not in your perspective, personality. Everyone doesn't like me. Next, because there's more people that do like me. And I want to find the people that like me and enjoy being in my space. I want them to be able to buy my products, buy my services. You know what, better yet, who do they know? Who do they know that they can recommend to me so that they can buy my products, buy my services? We want to be a giver, don't get me wrong. You have to give in your relationship. But we all know what we really want. Let's get to the bottom line. We want to sell you something. We want to sell you a service, a lipstick, vitamins, a program. Join my membership. I mean, I'm always looking for that. I'm always looking for someone to buy one of my packages. Join my membership. It's $37 a month. Or you can join all year for $497 a month. I've got it down. That's what I want. But I know I have to build the relationship first. You don't want to be salesy. How many of you sometimes feel salesy? We all go through that. Build the relationship. If you build the relationship, you don't come off salesy. You come off of giving information. I'm giving you information today. You get to do with it what you want to do with it. Maybe you want to get with me at the end of today and talk about something that I talked about. Maybe something really affected you, or you want to know more information about something. Some of you will never want to talk to me, but I'm going to call you anyway. I'm going to get on social media. A matter of fact, my VA has probably already contacted some of you in the room if I have collected a business card and said, thank you for meeting with me today. There's nothing wrong with that. That's not salesy. That's building a connection. I'm trying to get a connection with Courtney, John, Paul, whoever their names are. I want to get to know them. When is their birthday? Where do they live? Did they fly in today? Or did they drive in today? Do they live here in Allen or McKinney? You know, I drove in from Sherman. Took me about an hour. Sat on the highway, sat still for 15 minutes. I could have turned around and told Toby, I'm not coming because I have to sit here on the highway and look at the Bucky sign. Okay? I don't know why I'm sitting here, but guess what? I got up, I dressed up, and I showed up. And that's what you have to do every single day. I work in my office at home, but from my waist up, I am dressed to the max. Now, I probably have my pajama pants on and my house shoes on, but I'm dressed and I'm ready and I'm on a Zoom call because my calendar is full. I have appointments I have appointments to meet up with people about something, buying a package, getting on my podcast. You have to have things available. How many of you have something available you want to sell? I know, a house, a package, a membership, whatever it is. I have about 4 minutes left, and I would like to take this time to see if you have any questions, because I'm all about question and answers. I want you to learn something today. Does anyone have any questions? Yes, ma'am.
I have a funny question. What do you do when you really don't want to talk to someone, but you are in that place and you have to talk to them?
The mirror is your best friend. Go get your lipstick and draw a big circle on your mirror and leave it there. Every morning you get up and you smile at yourself. You can't keep from it because you've got this big red circle with a smiley face on it. And you say, I am going to talk to SpongeBob today because I want to. Not that you need to, because I want to. I want SpongeBob to be part of my circle. I want him to be in my bubble. I want to get to know his birthday. I hope that helped.
Have you got any tips or tricks that would help me connect with somebody on Facebook that's not answering back to me?
Yes. You have to go to their feed, and you have to start communicating through the feed. On Facebook, you want to love it. Don't like it, it doesn't do any good. Love it. And then start commenting. 5 words and at least 1 emoji. I do 3 emojis. I don't know why, just something I do. But at least 1. Start communicating that way. Then you're going to send them a message. Okay, they don't communicate with you again. You know, there's a little telephone button on Facebook. Click it, and it calls them. It's amazing. Sometimes they pick up, and sometimes they don't. And you want to keep doing that about once a week, and then go like every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks. But you're still commenting on Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram. Don't stop that part of it. Yes, ma'am.
I was going to ask you, what's your LinkedIn strategy?
My LinkedIn strategy, you want to like it, their comments. You want to give them a thumbs up. Why? It's important because as soon as you do that, it goes to your feed and theirs so that both parties get to know you and know who you're talking to and about. And again, the same thing. You want to comment the 5 words and at least 1 emoji. And you want to continue. Happy birthday. Glad you went to your skiing trip. How was Hawaii? Congratulations on the wedding, whatever it may be. And somebody else had a hand. Yes, sir.
More personal question, how has your approach to your building your business and sustaining your business strengthened your personal relationship with your family and grandkids?
Short story, maybe. 20 years ago, my 18-year-old daughter came home. I was a teacher at that time. From college, she came home on a Super Bowl Sunday and said, Mom, I'm pregnant and I don't know what we are going to do. What we did is I quit teaching and came home, and I sold everything in the garage on eBay to make money. When that baby was born, he had a little crib right next to my computer, and I did the same thing. Family is always first in my book. And that baby turned 20 years old in October. One of the best blessings we ever had that we didn't think that was going to be a blessing. And that baby did my business with me, and then his brother came along, and his cousin came along, and now I have a 6-year-old grandson, and we hopefully will be done with grandbabies. So keep in mind the time that you have with your family and build your business as you go. Yes, sir.
So, you mentioned the virtual coffee. Touch on that, and then how do you balance, if you have 1,000 people on that you're friends with, how do you organize that to stay in touch with those people?
Okay, you always want to stay in touch with the people that you are already talking to, and then add 5 a day, 5 a day, 5 a day, new ones. DM them, comment, happy birthday, send them a message, send them a phone call, and I am out of time. Thank you.
No problem, thank you. I tried the method that you're talking about with the comments and then using the little telephone button. With Sydney Sweeney, it got me a restraining order, which is really awkward. But there is a way to do it. The one big takeaway with what LaDonna's talking about is the fact that it is uncomfortable. It feels a little bit pushy. But part of life, the people that aren't a little bit pushy don't get to eat very often. And honestly, the more the uncomfortable becomes comfortable and you can force yourself to do that, the better off you are, the more unshakable you become. You become unshakable. All right, here.
And we're gonna do a giveaway.
We are. We're gonna be giving away.
But I'm loud.
You are loud.
Anybody that can't hear me.
What?
Right?
No.
Yeah.
Unshakable.
All right, here we go. Yes, sir.
Don't interrupt me. Yes, sir.
My bad.
Unshakable.
Yes, sir.
By the way, she was also talking about not wearing pants to meetings. You missed it. So what people don't know about Toby is he specializes in just wearing boxers on his Zoom. So if you're ever wondering what's going on down below, first off, it's not much, but it's awkward for everybody in the room. All right. Actually, I haven't been there for that. All right, we got the Unshakable Self. You can actually choose whatever book you want. See, you do have 2 hands.
I do.
Yeah.
So, the Unshakable Self, this is the book that launched this platform, that launched Becoming Unshakable. It's rebuild your life through mental, spiritual, and physical disciplines.
Kobe. Mike got it. Three hands.
3 hands.
Hey, and here's a mic stand.
Sure.
To the battle worn, the bloody, the beautifully broken. To those whose souls have been scorched by life's fires, yet who still dare to rise from the ashes. To those who have fought wars in silence, carrying wounds to the world could not see, nor would not. To the warriors who kept walking forward, even when every step felt like betrayal, even when hope felt like a stranger. To those who have screamed into the darkness, only to answer themselves with another breath, another fight, another day. That's what this book is all about. So, we're going to give this book away.
We're gonna do first this.
Yep.
We're gonna do a drawing. All right. I got it. There's only so many hands. Does everybody have their?
You have your tickets?
You have your tickets?
All right, here we go.
All right, first one.
I'll read an autograph.
You'll autograph it?
I'll autograph it. The ticket, yes, the ticket.
For $4.99. All right. The number is 953-3288.
Or turn it over. Oh, I'm sorry, you gave me the wrong ticket. Everybody else has got those names on you.
Oh, for real? I got the one that doesn't have a name?
I got this. Yep, all right. Manny?
Yeah.
Congratulations, my man.
That's ironic, time, because he is actually also our next speaker. But this is not your introduction. We'll go and get that book. And then one final thing we're gonna do, and he's got four books outside, many more than that.
Yeah, so you can pick whichever one you want, but this is the gold ticket.
Go ahead and ask the question, and then I'll see if anybody wants to answer it for a book.
Okay, so real quick, we've been talking about becoming unshakable, but we need to fully understand, what does that mean to you? Who wants to give a definition as to what it means to become unshakable? If not, I'm gonna pick somebody.
And then you get a book for it. You do get one. There we go, right here.
No, she did. Ready? What does it mean to become unshakable to you?
Well, in 2009, my entire world fell apart. Who I was married to, where I was working, like literally all my entire identity fell apart. So it wasn't until I realized all of that was a facade, kind of like the movie Matrix, if you guys have ever seen that. Like, you think it's real, but it's really not, or is it real?
Right?
And so, hitting that point in my life and essentially hitting rock bottom, there was nowhere to go. I was unshakable at that point, and I built my life back up, married the man of my dreams, and
Rock bottom, best place to be.
Rock bottom. And you know, most people that will be up here on stage talking will tell you that's where the transformation took place in their lives.
Yeah.
When they hit rock bottom. And they knew that there was nowhere to go but up. And that's the difference between the 1%ers and everybody else. Because everybody else calls it a day.
Yeah, mediocre is a crappy place to be because it's like, well, it could
It's
be better,
crowded.
could be better, could be worse. It's
Yeah.
incredibly crowded. Whereas
Crowded.
when you know that it's that point to shift, that's where you make
Yeah.
that decision.
All right, my man. Thank
Are we
you.
ready to go?
Yep, yep. Let's keep the show going.
All right. You guys ready for our next speaker? Yeah, we're gonna do like a WW. Are you ready? Man, one. Manny, we gotta do something. Hold on, Manny. Hold on. That was
I'll get my autograph over here.
we. All right, so we're gonna try this again. We're gonna do the Unshakable. I want to hear a nice loud yes, sir. We've been programmed for that. We're good to go. So, Unshakable.
Yes!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker is a gentleman that hails from Denver, Colorado. He has had a long history in entrepreneurship. He may not look like he knows tax strategy by the look of him, but he does. He's one of the best in the industry, one of the best in the business. He has been a member of Becoming the Better You, and I've gotten to work with him a little bit myself. A fantastic individual with an even better and more amazing story. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Manny Aragon.
I'm sitting here all morning thinking about all the stuff I gotta do when I get back home. And so, I'm just like, I gotta be crazy to fly out of town at the busiest time of the year to come down to Dallas for something like this. But, I think that's what leadership is about. So, I think as we kind of let life put us in a corner, it's easy to be so business focused. And that's what I was doing this morning, sitting there saying, what's important? Why am I down here? And why are we all down here? It's to become a better you, right? And being unshakable, I think we all have a life story where it starts very unconventional. We don't get to pick our parents. We don't get to pick our siblings. We don't get to pick the neighborhood we grow up in. But it shapes you into who you are. It shapes the decisions you make, and it shapes the future you can create. So, Anthony said, I have a deep background in entrepreneurship, but my story didn't start there. I was born into, a very broken environment, drug-addicted family. My dad was locked up the bulk of my childhood, and I was exposed to a lot of things that I wasn't, super proud of. And I used to wear that as an excuse. I wore that as an excuse for the decisions I made and the places I was going. But I had a lot of exposure to violence, so I want to say the first moment that really affected me was in the second grade. I'm riding my bike home from school, and a kid walks up to me and pulls a pocket knife on me, takes my bike. So, I'm a young kid, run home, tell my parents, and we get my bike back a couple days later. But that was my first exposure to violence. Always book smart kid, straight A's all through elementary. And around the 5th grade, my parents got divorced, and that really impacted me a lot. I became isolated, started getting in a lot of trouble, started smoking weed at 10, 11 years old, ditching school. 6th, 7th, 8th grade, got kicked out of every school I attended, which led to a very even worse incident. So I'm from Denver, Colorado, so Columbine High School occurred when I was in the 5th grade. So neighborhood I grew up in, like I said, exposed to a lot of things that I won't go too deep in, but to make a long story short, I caught a first in-school gun incident in 9th grade. So ended up becoming committed to the state of Colorado, and I was charged with an adult felony at 14 years old. So that was the fractured foundation of my life, and where I started to reflect and say, okay, that was the moment where I said everything in my life was shaken. The family dynamics, the history, all these excuses that I was carrying for the decisions I was making, it was disappointing to me, and I had to look in the mirror, or the aluminum mirror in my jail cell as a 15, 16-year-old kid. And it wasn't a good experience, and they asked the panel this morning, what was the light switch that created change for me? It wasn't being unshakable, it was being shackled to bury my grandma at 16 years old. Walking into her funeral and understanding that I made a promise to her that I'd be a better kid, and I never got that opportunity. She passed away unexpectedly, and so that was something that kind of put a chip on my shoulder, and I wanted to carry that forward and just better my life for her. And so that started a path where I ended up graduating high school a year early. So like I said, always book smart. That was never an issue. It was maybe attention. I wanted acceptance at home. Whatever you want to call it, that's what I was chasing. But ended up getting a 2-year degree in accounting. Just kept bettering myself. Said, okay, I accomplished this goal, keep moving. Accomplished this goal, keep moving. And I launched my tax business back in 2014. So keep in mind, I have an adult felony at age 14. The IRS denies me. Worst thing I could experience in life, and I'm like, invested all this money, bought a new computer, folders, excited to take this entrepreneur approach, and big red flag, nope. And so very depressed, sat back at home, took a pen and paper back before, when we used to write letters, so very traditional guy. And I had drafted a letter to the IRS and explained to them, my life circumstances, my situation, and why I think it was important for me to become a tax specialist. It took them 6 months to get a response, but on the happiest days of my life, I opened that letter and they said, we'd love for you to become a tax specialist and or a certified tax preparer. And I bring that up because it just goes, I think the moral of the story is you have to believe in yourself. You have to explain to people your situations and the life decisions that you make, because people can always judge you based on what you wear. I was meeting with Brian last week, and I'm a t-shirt and jeans kind of guy, and so I think it's the fact that we have to remain coachable, but we have to explain why we make the decisions that we make. And so I had to carry this public perception of a felony at age 14, and it affected me a lot. It affected how I walked into rooms. It affected me wanting to speak to people. I carried those scars and wounds of that human interaction. And as I progressed through all of that, it just reminded me that the story is important. That's why we do what we do. Is I can articulate myself very well written. This is actually my first speaking engagement, so very out of my comfort zone. The piece of it is the accolades are great, but the human interaction is more important than the business that we're building. We all want to sell stuff. We all want to, have a big house and a nice car in the driveway, but who we are as people is more important than the money we make. And that's what's going to carry our kids forward. I have a 5-year-old, he turned 5 on Tuesday. And so I'm thinking about, his birthday coming up, and I'm like, it's great, he has a room full of toys, but, I'm handwriting a storybook for him to read to him on Tuesday. So, I think that kind of stuff where the material things are great, but some of the happiest moments in my life was before I ever made any money. Was, I was locked up as a kid, but having that hug from my grandma meant more to me than the cars I have in the driveway today. So, I think resetting that human mind state of life has to be more valuable than the stuff that we're chasing. So the mentorship and, I love Toby's the Unshakable Investor. I was asking myself, what are we investing in? Are we investing in each other? Are we investing in our future? Are we investing in legacy? I like to write books. I have a book coming out in the next couple months, and the goal is not to sell a million copies. The goal is to leave my son a legacy that says, hey, yeah, your dad started off bad, but it didn't end that way. It's easy to they say comparison's the thief of joy, but I think comparison is also how we sharpen each other. Because you've been through something I haven't been through, I've been through something you haven't been through. I may know something on a tax strategy that you don't know. I told the team last week, if I want to learn how to push a broom, I'm gonna go find a janitor. If I want to learn how to speak, I'm gonna surround myself with people who have done it before. So that's what investing in yourself means, where, is this out of my comfort zone? Yeah, sure, but someone in here may change their life, and that's what it's about. So I think that's the goal of everything that I'm doing, and the accolades are great. I mean, if you guys want to talk taxes, I can do that all day, but I don't think that's, my goal from this event. So, I appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to speak today. Brenda, I appreciate Anthony, the team. And if you guys want to learn more about me, please feel free to come and chat with me.
So it's cool about Manny, and before you guys leave, this is a heads up, I'm gonna give you guys a split second to go out, so don't worry about it just yet. Manny does well. He does really well for himself. The first call that I had with him to learn more about him, he's doing this because he knows that part of being human and part of all the stuff that he's been through is by sharing it, by being that storyteller and getting to the point where the story gets better and better, and how to tell it gets better and better so that he can make an impact on people that were in the exact same position as him. And that's ultimately the fruit of life, plain and simple. Great job, Manny. Thank you very much. All right, I saw the way you guys handled the chicken dance game earlier when we didn't quite have the chicken dance right away and did the networking, and it was hard to wrangle you back. 5 minutes, we have light refreshments and snacks outside. Stretch it out, take your phone calls, and then at 6 minutes, I take out the electric shock therapy, the poker. Got cattle prods. Go ahead, guys, take a little break.
5 minutes.
5 minutes. Play that track.
Sometimes still not on your list of points. You never do that, but what's the family touch, right? The impact that you can make, and so I appreciate you sharing that. After you. Yes.
Oh,
Hi. Hi, what's your name? Kitty. You have a very pretty dress on. You're welcome. What's your daughter? Camden. So what are you doing? Dad, or y'all still living Yes, that's so nice.
He's sitting right there with the glasses.
Yeah. Whatever. That was awesome. That is just great. I love to see how your dad's yeah. So, do y'all still have an office that y'all rent in? Okay. It's actually just right down the street. Okay. Okay. So, yes. 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 Well, do you work at his office in Allen? Okay. Do you all have a team up there? Yeah, pretty much everyone who works out of the office. So, well, I've talked to a few people when getting signed up for the event. I don't know if they're working here or not. Rodney, I think is who did the ticket. We have Randy, maybe? Randy, yes. We have Randy. Okay. Okay.
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Okay, tell her. Friend, that's my daughter. Yeah. If I get, well, if I get my way, she'll be exactly right. Oh, that's what we were doing.
Yes, I'll definitely. No, 100%. I'll be here.
Go back to my bike today.
How old is he? He's 67, and I That was great. Yeah, you like fishing? I do. I don't know how to do it. Like I have to be with people that like know what they're doing. Like they take me out. We weren't waiting. Like I know how to cast. I know how to do all that stuff. But I'm not. It's something that's just second nature to some people. For me, it's an adventure. And you get to Ohio very often. Ohio State. So I'm the MC for Fox Big. Oh, okay. Social media? Yeah. So like stuff. I comment. I know. I do. Yeah. I gotta listen. We're Hill Springs, so how far is it? We're 20 minutes, 35 minutes from Ohio State, Hill Springs. Yeah, and then actually the road is a bit closer, so it's only about one lane to go for about 30 minutes from Ohio State. So I got a little man, I got a couple of options. Yeah. But you got me, my boy. What's the name of the lake? What's Silver? We go to CJ Brown Reservoir, is what it's called. But we live in Yellow Springs. Yellow Springs, where Dave Chappelle, Donna Rawlings, it's like where they live. Is there a pool bar by you? Because there's it's like a pool and a bar, like a big pool bar. I think that's the name of the town. I'm gonna ask her before we're done. But she no, not Yellow Springs. We have one bar. It's called the Oaks. And you would not be welcome if you're conservative. How'd you know? When we first moved down there, we got cuts down. Really? We go there now because people know it. And I hang with Dave and Donnell. But that's funny. It's a very odd village. It's the most accepted village in Ohio. Unless you disagree with it. It's called being a Democrat. I wasn't. All right.
Want me to get you a plate?
What?
Can I make you a plate? I'll get it.
I'm down.
Y'all again, Anthony.
Get your tickets ready. Get your tickets ready.
Is that my shirt?
You have a ticket? Did you get a ticket?
I just want the shirt. I don't need to go through all that.
We'll see how it plays out for the day, buddy.
Click it or ticket.
Click it or ticket. All right. Here we go. We're gonna give away. Can you model this?
Can I model the shirt?
Can you show them what we're giving away?
We're giving I am. I'm looking at it.
Read it, show it.
A becoming unshakable Brazil.
right, but you have to be in the room.
You must be in the room, and you must be a medium. I don't know if I wear this. I think I need a bigger size.
We do have kids small.
You have kids small?
We have kids small.
We like to tie it up. Then.
Yeah, tied up in a little knot on the side here. Yeah, from the 80s.
Could be I could be a college cheerleader.
You already are a
I
college
would have
cheerleader.
been a college
I've
cheerleader.
seen you cheer at the stadium. Just like a month ago.
True. Month and a half.
I was so embarrassed. I had to unfriend you for the longest.
You're out of the bubble.
I was going through the list of inappropriate jokes I was going to make back, and I decided silence is golden.
All right, here we go. We're going to give away a Become Unshakable dry fit shirt. We have medium, large, extra large, and 2X large. So don't worry, we have your size.
We have a 90.
And look at Ruben's got his already. Look at that, look at that. My man.
I didn't wait for the giveaway.
You didn't wait for the giveaway. All right, here we go. Can you draw a ticket?
I can. Actually went to art school. I could draw anything, not just a ticket. I keep picking one without a name on the back.
Sure do.
9533283. 9533283.
Right here. Right there.
There it is.
All right.
All right. I feel like this looks like his size too.
I think it's a large.
Yeah, I feel like whenever you say a size and it's large or extra large, people lower their voice.
Large. There you go. If it doesn't fit, she's over the table. All right. I will turn the show back over to you, my friend.
Sweet. You're no longer welcome. Goodbye. You are the weakest link. Goodbye. All right. That was actually quite the spread outside. I was pretty excited about the fruit muffins. Fantastic. Let's go and get started with our next speaker, Unshakable.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so there's some new people that don't know how to wake up when an alarm goes off. So this is what happens when I say unshakable, you say,
Yes, sir!
you got it. All right, so whenever you hear this randomly throughout the day, it's kind of like a little temperature check. It's how we warm up the crowd. So as a group, all is one is all. Unshakable.
Yes, sir!
There we go, very militant. All right, our next speaker. Here at the Unshakable, what should we got? Unshakable show, Unshakable conference, Unshakable
Summit.
Summit. That's the word I was looking for.
I know.
I have, as I said,
It's on your notes.
short term. Do you know how many pages of notes I got for this? Our next speaker, I've had the pleasure of being able to see him speak before. An absolute game changer from the stage. Former NFL athlete, played for the Chiefs, Bengals, and Jaguars.
Go Chiefs.
I had to figure out which team everybody was a fan of, and I'm still not sure, but Brenda likes the Chiefs. He is a leadership coach like no other. Fantastic to talk to. Works with all ages, especially great with the youngins. And of course, he's going to bring it to you all and find your inner child. I'm kidding. It's not that woo-woo. Ladies and gentlemen, Santos Stevens. Give it up. Make some noise. Maybe. All right.
Let me help you out.
Oh, okay. Thank you, sir.
All right, for about 2 seconds here, I'm gonna need the energy to come up a little bit.
There we go.
I got a problem with being able to come in and talk about your business and feel real good about the day, but walk around and eat and do all the other little stuff that we're doing, and we're right here. If we're gonna be here and we spent the time to get here, I need to hear.
Amen.
Right? I had a coach, and he used to get us there by this. He would say, look, I need some false enthusiasm. Right? So from you guys, I need some false enthusiasm. Follow me, please. I said follow. That's not follow. Come on.
Hey,
That's most of the room,
there we
right?
go.
That's most of the room.
Good job.
One more time, go. about management, we start talking about leadership, we start talking about all of those things. I need you to understand that there's levels to this. Levels to this. We're sitting around and we're talking about this today, but when you go back to manage your team, to run your business, some of this stuff is very hard. Right? Let's be honest about it. It can be hard. Now, on a day like this, nobody wants to hear the hard stuff. It's always fluffy. It's always motivational. It's always, come on, let's go get them. I wanted to be that way too. But I gotta talk to you about the real stuff. Well, Donna was up here a minute ago and she started talking about cupcakes. How many guys like cupcakes, cakes? Anything sweet, right? I'm a sweets guy. She started talking about cupcakes, automatically I did this. Right? So, everybody likes cake. Everybody likes talking about cupcakes. But how many folks here can make them from scratch to make you do this? See, we like the part where you eat it and you get your frosting the way that you want it. But we don't like to talk about what it takes to actually get to that place, right? Next slide for me. So, there's always this myth of overnight success. How many people have watched the Oscars, the Grammys, all the award shows, the Super Bowl the other week, right? And we look and we say, man, this kid came out of nowhere, right? Yeah, this kid came out of nowhere. Well, nobody sat there and understood that what we see are outcomes and not effort, right? Results are visible. Process, on the other hand, is invisible, right? Next slide, please. So here's a core principle for you. Everybody that's here, take whatever notes you want to. I don't care if you take pictures of the slide. I don't care if you actually go on and show this to the next elementary school class that you run into. But it will never change. No one skips stages and sustains success. Every high performer develops in phases, and every strong organization is built in layers. Next. Now, what you gotta understand is development, right? Elite performance always follows development. Training precedes performance, repetition precedes mastery, and game day is output and not work. So when you show up and everything is flowing the right way, it's because you've done everything behind the scenes in order to make sure that it comes out the right way. Next slide. All right, so the kid on the left always believed he could be the man on the right. Right? The kid on the left, even before that, had a dad that was standing in the park one day and said, hey, what do you want to do with your life? I may have been 5 or 6. And I said, Dad, I'm going to play in the league, and I'm going to be the DJ on the Quiet Storm. Those two things, and my life will be complete, sir. He laughed, but he said this to me. Simple words. When you get there. When you get there, you're going to have to do this. When you get there, such and so-and-so is going to happen. When you get there. So, early on, even before I became the knucklehead on the left, he had already fostered the belief in me that I could possibly be the guy on the right. And so we spent time talking about that. He wasn't the only one. I had some great coaches coming through there. I had some people that actually sat and talked with me about the levels that we were actually going to have to go through. I was actually going to have to play in middle school, high school. But nobody told me I'd get cut my freshman year of high school and then have to rebuild and make the team again as a sophomore. These are all things that folks don't know about you or about your business or anything else. They don't know that you started one way and then eventually you had to change it and go and learn something different and become something else. They don't know about the nights where you would sit there and you're going, I don't know if any of this is going to work in the morning. They don't know anything about that. All they see is the guy on the right. They didn't see everything that you had to do from knucklehead to that point. It's all evolution. And what you gotta understand is it's levels. But just because it's levels does not mean it's limitation. How many dreamers I got here? How many real dreamers? Folks that wake up every day and they don't say, oh, I gotta do, they say, I get to do. Right? Isn't that a good feeling when you walk into some place and folks go, I hate this place, and you go, this place is a gold mine. That's how I feel about it. Every time I get up, when I was coming downstairs on the elevator today, I was like, I can smell it. Somebody needs me today. You kidding me? That's how you gotta be every day. I tell my sons, they're sitting in there, they eating the Cheerios, they're hanging out doing what they're doing. They're just like, Dad, what are you doing? I said, man, somebody out here is holding money for me right now. And I got to get going. Once I put y'all on the bus, I'm going to get the green, baby. That's it. Next slide. All right. So the same is true with me as far as sports was concerned. I took the same premise and took it to business. 25 years ago, that's when I started Life's Work. Life's Work was a company that was originally started, as was mentioned earlier, for youth development, for workshops that groom the next set of leaders, right? And a lot of times I would go in, and this was actually done in alternative schools, in lockups. Most of my guys had on jumpsuits when I first came in there to talk to them. This was the next set of guys that would be thrust into the marketplace, and they needed those skills right away. They didn't have the option of actually going back to college or into school or whatever the case is. They had to get jobs right now. And so they needed somebody like me to come in and not sugarcoat it, but to make sure that they understood what the marketplace held and what they would have to do. So the truth is with your business, when we talk about strong organizations, they don't start with scale. And for those of you who don't know, that scale actually allows you to walk away while other folks run. Well, guess what? How many of us actually have our own business? And every night, you're looking at the numbers. Nobody else is bringing you reports. You're the one that's running it. That's how it starts, right? But then you got to get clear strategy. You got to go through testing in several different iterations. Learning from your failure. And a bunch of us failed. Now, come on. You got to knock your head a little bit. But process refinement is where you're actually going to find your way. And then understanding your market, right? That's a huge piece. Think about this. Next slide. There's a building phase and there's a breakthrough phase. For those of you that haven't done this yet, I encourage you to take a Post-it. Put it next to wherever your computer is, wherever you make the vast majority of your phone calls, wherever that spot is in the house where when you take a Zoom call, your family knows, don't go in there. Wherever that spot is, take a Post-it and put at the bottom, one more call, one more contact. One more call, one more contact. Whether that's a phone call, an email, whatever it is, at the end of the day, you'll stop and you go, let me just do it. Right? That one more can make the difference between you closing a deal out that saved the entire company in the next 2 months or you going under. That's how you gotta view it. Right? So when we start talking about breakthrough, you gotta look at the capability, your confidence, your systems, right? We're not talking about shortcuts. We're talking about you actually getting in and knowing the business and building a team you can actually be proud of. Every single time, right? Because you have the wherewithal to do it. You know what you want it to look like, but you gotta put in the work. Next slide, please. All right, so here's the cost of actually skipping the process. Rapid growth without foundation. You ever seen a house collapse on itself? That's where your business is going if you don't do it that way. Skill gaps. Let me tell you something. Nothing worse than a guy that doesn't know what he's doing and he gets a fantastic opportunity and he walks in and he craps the bed. He walks into this place. This may be the only time you get a shot at this This is a company that you wanted to present in front of before, but your skill gap shows that day, and you lost a big sale. Am I saying you're never gonna get that back? No. But you had it then. Nothing worse than watching a boxer come and say, I want a rematch. You just got your eye bust this time. Why you want a rematch right away? Go back, get in the book, learn a little something, maybe you can come back and have a chance at the challenge. But right now you weren't ready. All right? Sustainable success requires disciplined development, which means that if you're not studying the marketplace right now, you haven't gone in to learn something new. You haven't tested where you are versus where everybody else is in the marketplace, then you're doing yourself a disservice. Next slide, please. Now, quick story. While I was writing curriculum and doing all of these things for these young kids, I got a call from Walmart. One of the HR directors saw some of the curriculum I put together for kids, and she says, do you think you could come to Atlanta and do an afternoon with some of our young leaders, the same way you do with the kids? I said, well, send me what it is that you guys are looking at, right? Of course, it had some massive name on it, micro inequities. I said, what is that? So I started looking stuff up. Okay. It pretty much is all the little things, right? And all the little things as leadership and as managers that you should and or shouldn't do when you're actually leading people. So as part of that conversation, I took that and I took a bunch of other things that I was obviously teaching the kids. And I made it into what they later dubbed as their emerging leaders program, right? And so they contracted me for 3 years. But what I'm telling you guys in all of this is the business grew and it translated from just youth to now we're training managers that have never been managers before. Were we doing anything different than what we were with the kids? No. But now it's at a grander scale and it's on a level where you're now talking to folks about the next evolution of where those kids actually were and ultimately where they're going to be, because now they're managing teams. And so you've got to begin to have a conversation that's a little bit different than fill out the application and get the job. Now you've got to grow into, well, when I'm sitting across the table, I want them to share their experiences with me so I can know who I've got and how to manage that person. As your business grows, there are going to be learning components. You don't know it now, and it's okay. The worst part is if in fact you decide you don't want to learn anymore. That's the nonsense part. What we do is we stop and we say, I know enough to make the money that I need to make. Well, guess what? I'm fine with you making the money you need to make. But how much better would it be for your family if in fact you learned one more thing and elevated it to where they wouldn't have to work as hard? How about retiring everybody at the house? Because you learned that one more thing. Second piece, practice. Whoa, go ahead. Good job. Practice, repetition, and mastery. We talked about that earlier. I say consistency here, but it's about discipline. Doing, the right thing when nobody's watching. The execution actually comes, right, when it's performance under pressure. Think about this. How many times do you have to make the same call, talk to folks about your business, tell them what it is that you really can bring to their business before you actually get it down and don't have to look at the script? But you gotta love it that much to learn it that way, right? Now, leadership. I'm gonna say this, and I know somebody's gonna get mad about it, but we can talk later. As a leader, you are not, I repeat, are not the holder of all information. Ooh, that's it. Here's the problem. If you want to lead, you've got to be willing to teach. The issue with us is we have all of the marbles and we think if we hold on to them tight, then Nobody will take our job. Nobody can come in and run the business like I can. You're wearing yourself out when you could have hired some young person to go ahead on and take over the AI side of your business and bring in 3 times as much as you could if you took all of the meetings. Why are you doing this? And the other part is this, nothing worse than this right here. What's your name, brother? Jason, right? Jason, hey man, I see what you're doing, man. It'd be awesome if you could kind of show me some of what you're doing. And then you go, it's a lot of hard work. Well, how did you get this such and such and so and so? Yeah, man, you know, a lot of long nights. Just, brother, all I'm asking you is just nuts and bolts. You don't have to give me everything, but walk me through. Hey, you know, I set it up this way. My LLC is through such and such. I did blah, blah, blah. Why are you holding on to that? They're not direct competition. Matter of fact, if you get them off the ground, guess what? They may be willing to help you in some of the places you're deficient. That last bullet down there, I need you to understand. Process is not punishment. It is preparation. When we prepare for games, when we practice, when we do all of the things that we needed to do prior to the playoffs or a big game, all of those things had to come together so that we will be ready for that opportunity. How many of y'all feel like y'all are ready for that opportunity? Now, those claps were light. You know why? Because some of y'all are thinking like, holy crap, he has exposed me. Right? But think about it. I need you to be ready. Right? And so what my company does is we take a look at what you got. We take a look at where you say you're going. We listen to what you're talking about. And we help you put a plan together so that you can execute. I don't want you out here looking bad. I want you to call me back in 2-3 years and go, man, if you hadn't said that, we wouldn't have been ready for that. Come on, we need to band together on this stuff. Next slide, please. Boom. Here's my closing challenge to you. Please, 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 do not compare your beginning with somebody else's middle. And y'all know what I'm talking about. Why is she doing that? How did she make it? What's she doing with all of that now? Guess what? She's been toiling for the last 5 or 6 years. You just started this thing. It's gonna be great, baby. Just let it go. Don't quit because progress feels slow. And lastly, stay committed to the process. You gotta stay committed, right? Make your adjustments and keep going. Don't let anybody talk you out. You're gonna be great. Give it to me. Next one. So I say that in this full landscape of what's going on. The process enables results that talent alone cannot sustain. The fact is, most of us can talk to anybody. But what happens is if we don't have a process in place, we don't have the ability to actually close the sale, we don't know enough about that company because we haven't listened enough, it'll never work out. Anything worth having takes time. If you'll notice here, that book is probably about 20 years of conversations with my dad, right? You Will Build This is the name of the book. What that book does is it gives you a breakdown of all of the men that have kids. We're talking about new dads, more seasoned dads, grandfathers, and it gives them an opportunity to have conversations and say, hey man, what works, what didn't work? And they can go back and forth and they can talk about it, which we hate, just so y'all know as men. We don't like doing it. But it actually works. Next slide. This is my last one. That QR code right there. Anybody in here that wants a free strategy session with your board, that wants to actually talk with me about your business, that wants to take it to the next level, that wants to actually be a part of something spectacular in your own house, because you never come to mine, can take that, fill that out. My team would love to sit down and talk with you and make sure that wherever it is that you want to go, that we assist you and get you. I want to thank y'all for your time. You've been spectacular.
Santa, I don't know if you knew this. I actually tried to start a leadership hide and go seek league. Did you know that?
I did.
You know what I found out?
that
Good lead.
nobody wanted to play with.
Good leaders are hard to find.
You are absolutely right.
No. The guy with no pigment or hair is now talking trash. He said he felt left out when I was complimenting the beards and the mustache. I'm a hairless, yes, I'm a hair elitist. Before we go to our next speaker, I do want to remind you what tomorrow is. If you know anything about Dr. Toby Potter, Toby is a man that knows how to create structure and framework. If you've ever been to any of his webinars or any of the stuff that he puts on weekly, or if you're a part of those Monday morning calls, you will learn that he has an innate and uncanny ability to truly build a business and build a framework in your mind. So tomorrow, he's going to be doing a workshop 9 a.m. to 12. It is all part of this. So if you're around, of course, join us, join Kobe in that room, Dr. Toby, and he will give you a great launch pad for what you are working on in life, business, career. Does that sound pretty good, Toby? Is that an accurate depiction of tomorrow? God, I love when you say it's so hard to get a perfect out of Toby. I was gonna say you must have just taken something. Yeah.
I'm feeling really good.
He's happy. He's happy. They're happy pills. All right, we are ready for our next speaker. Spent a little time in Hollywood. By that I mean over 3 decades. He's had over 100 credits to his career. He now is obviously not necessarily living in Hollywood all the time, living in Omaha, Nebraska, trying to build the actor movie production concept in a city that is a little bit foreign to most thinking about Hollywood. Phenomenal speaker, phenomenal man, and I am going to go ahead and play a video before Randy Goodwin comes up.
Because you can win this thing.
These ladies are friends of George's. Oh, okay, it's nice to have you. It's always good to see your faces.
Producer, director, ladies and gentlemen, Randy J. Goodwin.
Santo, thank you for doing my presentation.
Wow.
You did all the slides and talked about some of the things that I was going to talk about, but that just allows me to be able to just tell my story, because I think it might help you. Can I get that chair over there? You know, when I come from the entertainment industry and I used to do stand-up comedy, I like the chair.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can sit, you're comfortable, you talk, you thank you, sir. I'll bring my pen and pad, because even when I'm in meetings doing things and I see faces and ideas just come to me right now. Just certain things, looking at people stare at me like I'm crazy sitting up there. But Unshakable.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Uncompromising, unflinching, unwavering, unwilling to quit. You know why I am unshakable? And a lot of people aren't. I think it's because maybe I know something that they don't yet. And I'm going to share that with you. It's the rain. You're the rain. Water that comes out of the sky. On your way to work, school, partying for the weekend, and it starts raining on your nice clothes. And you get soaking wet. It's uncomfortable. It's cold. I'm not talking about a nice warm shower or jacuzzi. I'm talking about rain. It messes up your day. Traffic slows down. We get upset when it rains. A lot of times, don't we? Well, I'm gonna tell you something about rain real quick. Because the rain's gonna come through the window. Pain's gonna come, black, white, rich, poor, it's the same old drum. Rainy days like a war, use wisdom as your weapon. Hold your head up, dry your clothes, but keep stepping, let the children feel the rain. Because if they feel the rain from the wetness, they stand to gain. I came into the game, felt like the middle of June, music was warm, actors like flowers, they bloomed, and boom, I shook the room. Many felt my thunder. My time to shine. Did it like the summer. I wondered if the sun would shine forever. My pop said rain gonna come to him. I said never. Cheddar in the jeans, face on screens. Got a Benz with the sheen, but what does it all mean? I earn money, I burn money. Credit card smoking. Platinum. Emmys, famous, but still broken. Not having cash put me in check. See, the road through the riches is slippery with lead. Amongst the fall is where you truly find yourself. Ever since then, the rain I never felt. At age 17, the worst pain, a hurricane. Her first name still conjures the rain. I vowed to never let nobody ever get me wet, lest we forget. Love is a 4 seasons concept. Many say the rain they can't stand. Never let the weather determine the man. See, God had a plan. From it, I never ran. I followed my heart through the storm. My umbrella in hand, I'm the one. Life's my arc. 40 days and 40 nights still can't take my heart. Seen the fallen man through dope and liquor plan. The devil a dance to make it rain, bringing the pain. I walked through the puddles of struggle on flooded streets. Soaking wet, but mastered the art of peace. Through the grace of God, I grew wise and bended knee. I knew. Since then, the rain never fell. Sometimes I sit in my room, stuck on my mind, stress, can't rest, so I open the blinds. I see the kids in the streets running around, it wasn't touching them. But the rain was coming down. I wondered how. With my mouth wide, I reminisced of the key and said, I want to go outside in the rain to see if the same would happen to me. About that time, God started rapping to me. He said, pain is the mother of change. The rain must flow so the seeds of joy might grow. Don't be afraid, find shelter in me. The road to greatness through the valley of adversity. I felt the light as he proceeded to drop these gems. These little children, the world, we must perceive like them. I just smiled, thank you for the cards he dealt. Since then, rain I never felt. Good morning, everybody. I'm ready to get So just jumping into the story, the 8-year-old boy in Omaha, Nebraska, I wanted to be an actor. I knew it. I knew this is what I was built for. I knew God built me for this. Mom, Dad, I want to be an actor. Boy, you can't be. That's Hollywood, that's far-fetched, that's a pipe dream, that's out there. We know people, it's corrupt. You're a good artist. You're going to school for architecture. Guess what I went to the University of Nebraska Lincoln for? Architecture. Yeah. Ooh. Guess what I was doing all those times I skipped class? I was going and doing stand-up comedy. And I was going and doing acting. And I was wasting my parents' money and my scholarship. Because I told them, you know, I know I'm supposed to do this. What can you tell your parents at 8 years old? You own nothing. You pay for nothing. 17, you own nothing. You pay for nothing. Everything I had, they paid for. So, college, I did that. I left sophomore year with my older brother, big military family. My older brother said, hey man, you should join the Air Force with me. And my older brother was a Marine. You should join with me. Yeah, I ended up going to the Air Force. What was I doing in the military? I had a specific job that I cannot talk about, but I wasn't supposed to have my face out there, and I was sneaking off going to other smaller cities doing stand-up comedy and trying to find a play to be in. And they found out, and they gave me an ultimatum in my 3rd year and said, you want to be a part of this? And they gave me the whole spiel, and I loved what I was doing because it was acting as well. But when they gave me the ultimatum and said, you want to be a part of this? You want to follow your little dream? I said, no question, sir. He said, good. I said, I want out. He goes, oh, whoa, whoa. We thought you were going to choose us. No. If you are giving me, it's one of my lessons I should be studying on the plane right now. I wish I had not. What's that?
It's a lot for rain.
It's a lot for rain. I wish I knew when the rain was coming. I really did. But when I ended up leaving the military, it was time. was time to go to Hollywood. My boy Shay, who was supposed to go with me, I get back to Nebraska, and I go, dude, it's time, we're going to Hollywood. He said, I met a girl. I was like, y'all always do that to us, you women. I met a girl, he stayed, and they didn't get married, but I went. I went anyway. And I slept in my car. I had a Fiat Spider. I don't know how many people know what that is, but it's a little car. And I'm not a little guy. And my clothes were in the back seat, jump seat. So I had to sleep. Every night sitting like this, and when it was warm enough in that first year, I slept on the park benches. I slept under trees. I still had blankets and stuff. Now, I could have always come back home. My family would have welcomed that. My parents would have. My mom would have loved that, so she could have said, I told you it wasn't going to work. But I couldn't let that happen. I'm wavering. I'm compromising. Unshakable. I could not let that happen. So I went through it. I slept in that car. One night, it was raining. It's convertible. And there was a hole right here. It was just dripping on my leg. Oh, the water was dripping all night. I couldn't sleep. I had a small job that I kept doing security so that I could keep a gym membership, shower in the morning, and stay in shape for the auditions that I never had yet. But this night, that drip, I couldn't adjust my leg any other way. And it just wore me down. That is the one time in my 35 years in Hollywood, even in the beginning, that I came to tears. I looked up at this leaking top and I said, God, I know I am talented. You put it in me.
Right.
I know it. You brought me here. Why am I in my car? I just sat back and I stayed awake all night. In the morning, my brother calls me. My younger brother, he didn't know what was going on. And he says, hey man, I was just thinking about you and I wanted to let you know, bro, I know we joke and, I have 4 brothers, I'm the middle child. Always gets the worst in everything. But he said, man, we always joke you and clown you, but I just wanted to tell you, dude, you are probably the most talented dude we know. And I just wanted to say, don't give up.
That's right.
He didn't know what I was going through. He did. But I needed that call. That is the night I became unshakable. Nothing touched me after that night.
That's right.
0. My car got towed recently after that. The next day, I booked my first TV series on Showtime called Fast Track.
Yeah.
That was, you have to go through the fire. Adversity is what reveals who you are. In good times, I had people working for me. I had one of my guys, I brought him from LA to Omaha. I brought my production company to Omaha, Nebraska, called Fallen Giant Films, faith and family-based company, but it's still gritty because real life is real. And I brought Jason Beecham with me. Jason has produced 29 movies, and when things are good, Jason is that's the dude. But as soon as we went through something, we're going through an audit right now, dealing with 2 people that I had to let go of that I've known my whole life. I brought them in. They did very well at the companies they were at before, but then they kind of worked for their boy and started resting on my laurels. And then some money disappeared. And it wasn't even, they were bad bookkeeping. They were just not doing anything. Jason has been panicking for 2 weeks. And I was like, bro, where's the smile? You should be angry. I go, why should I be angry? Well, because it's your money. I go, well, if I'm not angry, why are you?
Right. Right.
It'll come back. We'll be fine. Because I know I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Some of the things that Santo had up on the screen had me reminiscing, going back, getting a huge opportunity and not being ready for it because it happened too quick. Now, oh, that's happened to me before. It'll never happen again though, because I needed it, and thank God that I got it early.
Right.
Instead of becoming a $300 million company and then having to deal with the IRS because money was not reported. Then it looks just like fraud. I mean, there's so many things that can happen on your journey, but if you make sure you know what you need to know, and you keep learning, you can get past all that stuff. I mean, I was really looking at your slides going, man, was he at my office?
Confirmation.
Recording my stuff? Yes, yeah, I love that. I love it. I love it. But after all these years in Hollywood, here's the thing about being Unshakable. I've been asked to come, I'm sure you all have seen what's going on in Hollywood. Everybody's falling, all the corruption, the nonsense is going on. I've been invited to those parties. I've been invited to the events after the red carpet. I don't go. I never have. I don't play the game. I drew a line in the sand before I got there. Not like a lot of people who are very good friends of mine, you know, who drew a line, stepped over it, let Hollywood see that they were willing to do certain things. Not that they were trying to do certain things, but if you cheat on your wife and you're out partying, and Hollywood sees that, the people that are in charge see it, they go, oh, he's on our team. We can get him to compromise later on. But then somebody like, I'm gonna say his name, Denzel says, man, I haven't been living a good Christian life. Let me go tell my wife what I've been doing. And he did it publicly, and then Hollywood went, we already let you in. You can't go back. You broke the $200 million glass ceiling, and too late, he's already Denzel. That's what happens. If they see you could be compromised, they come after you. I was told, Randy, they're afraid of you. What are you talking about? They said, man, your name come up at the studio of Warner Brothers today. And it was a big film. And all the producers were on board. But the big dog said, yeah, I know Randy, yeah. They're gonna have to, I don't trust him because he won't drink with me. Because I won't drink with you, you don't trust me. Well, this producer explained, if you don't drink with him, there's no chance you'll ever get drunk. There's no chance he can ever slip something in your drink. There's no chance you'll ever be in a compromising position. There's no chance that you'll ever have the dirt on you that they have on them.
Wow.
Oh, this is real. This is real. I've dealt with this for 35 years. So long I've been in the business. The majority of my life, I've been in Hollywood from my mid to early 20s. But this is what a business like this does. And I know there's a lot of corruption in a lot of businesses. But this is the one that everyone sees. It's on screens. It's on the big screen, the small screen. It's in your living room every week. So we're held to kind of a higher standard than everyone else, which is why when they fall, it's a big fall because the world sees it. But the world doesn't see me over here doing the right thing. The world doesn't see you behind the books. Oh my goodness.
Study time.
Look, Ma, I said stop calling. But my mom wouldn't care. Anyway, she wanted me to take the call and say, who are you talking to? That's just my mom. But that is why I am the way that I am, because she is a resilient woman from Arkansas, farming family. You know, everything that you are, realistically, you're not in my industry, but you are. Because every single one of you has been training to be an actor your whole lives. Every single one. And every single one of you, I can probably put you on a set and direct you through a scene and make you go, ooh, I can act. Because you've been lying your whole life since you were born. Lying. Nothing's wrong. You've been fed, your diaper's dry, and you're not sick. What you crying for? Because you're trying to figure out what else you can get at that age. You don't know how to communicate, so you're trying to figure it out. Acting. Who's ever lied to a teacher? Or a parent, or a brother, or a sister, and got away with it? Acting. Successful acting job right there. You convinced them, did you not? They truly believed you, did they not? Well, every single one of us are actors as business owners. You kind of have to a little bit, because you can't really deal with every individual the same way, right? I gotta coddle you, I gotta be rude to you, and this is just my boy right here, so, you know, we doing our thing. But I have to pull you in the office, and I have to, instead of being the normal Randy, I sit and go, okay, Jimmy, how are you today? What's going on? Talk to me. There you go. And then I gotta bring him in and go, yo, man, seriously? Again? We gonna play this game again. And my boy comes in, I'm like, oh, you know, you switch up with who you gotta deal with. It's acting every day. Doesn't mean you're fake. I'm not saying you be fake. You still have to be authentic. How much time, man?
You got a minute, 41 seconds.
Oh, so yeah, minute 41 seconds. I mean, I got so much story, I can keep going. Anybody got any questions for a minute, 41 seconds? Any questions? Not about a show that I've been on here. People always want to talk about that, like that. Yes?
We just finished up your thought with authenticity.
Oh, yes. That's it, man. Being authentic is probably the most important thing to me. Okay? I cannot say and do two different things, especially when I have employees. And I'm like, look, if I'm leading, they have to see this dude be this dude every day. Yes, they can see me speak differently to different people, but I'm not changing my message. My message is still 100% Randy. It's 100% honest. And if your feelings are hurt by it, I'm sorry, not sorry. I have a job to do, we gotta get it done. And being in charge means sometimes you can't worry about the feelings. So authenticity to me, that's at the top. That's up there, yes, ma'am.
So your production company, what drove you to production? Hollywood drove you to production in
No.
other states?
The only reason I own a production company is because at 8 years old, when I said, Mom, Dad, I want to be an actor, there was no one who ever came back. We had Fred Astaire, Montgomery Clift, Hilary Swank, Nick Nolte. We have so many celebrities from Omaha, Nebraska, Oscar winners. None of them ever came back. So that when I was 8 and I said, I want to be that guy. Bring people up.
What's the name of your production company?
Fallen Giant Films.
Hey, Brady, we like what you're doing. Take a couple more questions. Take 2 more if you're okay with that.
Okay.
I know there was one back.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi. Knowing what you know now, would you do it all the same way again?
I would not do it all the same way. I do most of it the same way. But just like Sandra was talking about, there's some things that I would have known before I got there. I would have educated myself more.
Anybody else? I'm gonna ask you one, is that all right?
Yes.
What's, in Omaha, Nebraska, obviously a town that's not used to having anything like this, as you're building it, what are some of the challenges that you're facing from actually a city play? Like, are you getting any help from the actual city and state?
So the state saw what I was doing. I built the Nebraska Film and TV project. I laid out what I was going to do. I would come back and forth in 2004, teaching acting classes, filmmaking classes. Every summer I would do that since being in Hollywood. Then I would also, in 2014, started coming back and pushing a film incentive with a group of people. We got it passed, but there's no money in it. So doing all of that, the Department of Economic Development calls me up and says, hey, we have some money to give away. We love your plan. We would love to help you. And they gave me a little bit of money, enough to run, to set up an office in Omaha and pay some employees. And that's who I'm having problems with right now. The people who came to me to give it to me. So yes, there are always people who get jealous, and that's where it started. There's a group of people who are like, well, why is he getting the money? And why is he? Well, because I have a good plan, and I've been doing this for 30 plus years. You know, so yes, definitely watch out for people because these are people who I thought were my friends. And not the two that I had to fire, other people that I've been educators with.
Yeah.
Are the ones who turned on me. So, still, you gotta be unshakable. Because if I wasn't, I'd probably be in jail right now. As my brother says, take him out. There it goes.
Hey, we got one more. We got one. Brenda, I had a question for you. It's a great one.
Yes, yes.
When you realized that you were in the middle of your dream, how did that feel?
Well, let me tell you, because I'm in the middle of it right now.
Yeah.
This is where I knew I'd always be. I knew I would be successful at it. I knew that I was gonna be on screens. What I didn't realize is that I would have so much opposition being a Christian in Hollywood, first of all. Even though I made it to the top 1% for many years, you don't see my Top Gun movie because I won't drink with them, because I won't party with them. I've done very well. But you don't see me like you see Will Smith, do you?
No.
Because some people compromise, some people don't.
Man.
Thank you.
Hey, Randy, we grabbing a drink later?
Yes, we are. And a cigar.
That makes me feel like I'm not a big deal. The big deal, you won't have a drink with me. It's like, yeah, you're harmless. You're good. You're good.
You can't hurt my career.
You know what they called actors in Omaha before Randy really started the production industry out there? People from Omaha.
Which we will be there next week if anybody would like to come.
If anyone wants to travel up, we'll be back there next week. One of the things I did not mention about tomorrow, if you do want to be a part of that, again, part of this, all you have to do is be here 9 to 12 with Toby. It is, as I said, free as a part of this. You do have to sign up so we know the numbers. So just do us that favor, sign up in the hallway if you may, if you can. I'm going to take this chair off for our next speaker. Sorry.
No. I do some work too.
Don't be fooled by the crushed velvet jacket.
This actually goes back up.
All right, our next speaker, we're just a couple away from lunch. I need you guys to keep the energy up. With that said, everybody stand up one time. Stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up. Everybody, hands to the sky, hands to the sky. Lean to the left. Lean to the right. Everybody's hands go up. And they don't stay there. Sit back down. That was good. That was good. Unshakable.
Yes,
sir. Unshakable.
Yes, sir.
Unshakable.
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker is a 9-figure entrepreneur, real estate investor. I can't even count to 9. I'm not going to lie. I went to art school. Keynote speaker and gentleman that has something special called Trailer Park to Triumph. A little maxed out situation, ladies and gentlemen. Top Pulse.
Hello, Justin. Randy, turn the mic off. I got it, Randy. I got it back on. Alan, Texas, man. How are you guys? Good? You guys getting hungry? No? Well, here's my problem. The last 3 stages that I stepped on, every one of them made me go right before lunch. And then today, Toby makes me go after Santos and Randy. So to say I'm irritated would be a little bit of an understatement. But you guys would probably get a little hungry for lunch, right? Yes? Anybody hungrier for something more than just food? Anybody hungrier for something else? Yeah, what is it? Yell it out at me. What are you hungry for? Who's hungry to be more? Who's hungry to achieve something higher in their life that they haven't got to, a different level? Who's ready to be a bigger real estate investor, a better entrepreneur, an 8-figure entrepreneur, a 9-figure entrepreneur? What are you guys hungry for? Somebody yell at me. What about you?
Motivation.
You want me to motivate? I can motivate. I can motivate. Or do you want me to teach? Your choice. It's on you.
How?
How? I don't know. All right, listen. So everybody has different answers, right? Some people are hungry for something different in life. But I coach a lot of sports, and I tell my young athletes a couple things at every single game, every single practice. Well, we're in a timeout. And this just happened 2 weeks ago. We were in overtime. Had a tight score. I have 8th grade boys, my kids on my team, and they came to timeout. And a lot of coaches would take that minute and they would draw something on a play and, something fancy with dry erase marks and say, here, go get them. I said one thing to them. I said, be the dog. Find the dog inside of you and go win the damn game. I didn't draw them a play. They already know all the plays. We practice. But at that point for them, it was all about them executing. And nothing that I could do in that moment was going to help them win that basketball game. They had to decide in that second where they wanted to be the dog. And sometimes in business and entrepreneurship, that's exactly what we have to do. We have to deep dive inside our soul. We have to find the dog inside of us that wants to be better than everybody else, that wants to achieve more than anyone around us, that wants to go to different heights that maybe we were afraid of at some point before that. We have to find the dog inside us that says, I won't quit, I'll be unshakable. And I love the name that Toby came up with, the Unshakable Investor, because my life has been a lot about being unshakable. But I want to start with something that all of us in this room have in common, and everybody knows exactly what it is. Hit that next slide for me, Jason. Guys, don't make fun of me. I'm going to fake play. Can I do that without you guys laughing at me? Okay, stay there. I didn't fake it. If I do it twice, don't go twice. Just stay on the slide. No, once. All right, we're good. Something every one of us has in common in this room. Sometimes we just don't understand what it really means, right? But we all get 3 things guaranteed to us in life. We get a day that we're born. We get a day that we're going to leave this earth. But between those 2 dates, there's a tiny line, a small object. It's called your dash. That dash represents every relationship that you'll ever make, every person you'll ever talk to, every handshake that you have, every risk that you take, every failure you experience, every win that you will ever have. That dash represents every person that you ever impact and everything that happens in your life. The crazy part about the dash is that we have no control over how long that dash will be. But we do get to control what that dash means. And the first question I'd ask you guys today is really simple. What will your dash stand for? Because one day when we leave the earth, somebody's going to look at our stone. It might be on a hill by itself. It might be in a cemetery with all kinds of other things. But they're going to look at that dash. And what I hope when they look at mine and when they look at yours, they say that dash changed lives. Now I want to tell you guys a little bit about my dash if I can. I'm going to shorten it down. I'm going to tell you a very small piece. And I want to try to leave you some time with questions if you have them. But my dash started with subsidized projects in Dayton, Ohio. So I was 6 years old. We moved to the trailer courts of Dayton, Ohio. I wasn't surrounded by wealth. I wasn't surrounded by business owners. I was surrounded by roaches. I was surrounded by broken down cars. I was surrounded by poverty. I was surrounded by broken thinking. I was surrounded by domestic violence. I was surrounded by people that believed there was nothing else out there for them. And the thing that kept us all believing that was that every trailer park is surrounded by something very, very real, a fence. That fence isn't to keep people out. That's to keep us that live in a trailer park inside of that fence. It's there to taught us what we're supposed to believe. It's there to tell us that opportunity is on the other side of that fence, but not for us. See, the trailer park that I grew up in with the fence that surrounded the entire place, it didn't just shape my environment. It shaped my beliefs, and those beliefs stayed with me for a long time in my life. Guys, we were super broke. Like, we couldn't afford the anybody like ice cream trucks?
Yep.
Ice cream trucks? Anthony, you look like a Choco Taco type guy.
All vanilla, baby.
Okay, well, Choco Taco was my favorite thing, and I'm going to tell you why here in a second, okay? We couldn't afford the ice cream truck. We didn't have 75 cents. My parents wouldn't give it to us. I had no idea why the ice cream truck drove down our street every single day, knowing that maybe one kid would get it. But we had this huge field on the side of our trailer park. It was right along the fence line. And as we went and we played in that field, we noticed something that was pretty cool. The door one Friday opened up to the back of this warehouse, and these people threw a whole box of stuff into the dumpster. And of course, we're kids, we're young, we're curious, we're like, what are they throwing away? So we climb the fence after they leave, we go, we get in the dumpster, and we found out that this was where they stored all of the ice cream for every ice cream truck in Dayton, Ohio. Okay? But every Friday, they would have to throw out the expired ice cream. So what do you think we did as kids? We got a little 25-cent radios, we got the dollar store, we ran our surveillance and recon on Fridays, we hid in the bushes, and the minute that they threw out every single ice cream that was expired, we were over that fence with our bags in our hand, and we were stuffing it with every ice cream. most of the time was Choco Tacos, because apparently people didn't buy them off of the ice cream trucks. I fell in love with Choco Tacos. But this situation with all the ice cream taught me three very important lessons. I didn't know at the time what they were teaching me, but those lessons were pretty simple. Number one was seize the opportunity. And I didn't understand how important that was until I got later in my life. So many people walk past it, and I think Randy might have said it, or Santos said it, or both of them said it, because they're incredible, and incredible people think alike. But so many people walk past opportunity because they're afraid of what that might have. But when you seize an opportunity, don't worry about it. Become the expert later, okay? It taught me a second lesson, and man, time runs quick when you only got 20 minutes. But I'm going to tell this story, and I'm going to forget the rest of everything I prepared for you guys. Can I tell a story, Miles? Miles is my creative director, by the way. He's in the back of the room. He runs all my social media, and I'm going to tell this story because, man, it stood out to me. The second lesson that it taught me was about scarcity and appreciation. We appreciate what we don't have. When it's not readily available to us, we appreciate that. Man, he's going to be mad at me, but I'm not telling this. We were walking over here to the hotel. We're staying at the Marriott across the street. We're walking down. My wife was with us, and Miles is with me. Miles tells me, and I don't know why he hasn't told me yet, but he told me his girlfriend broke up with him. And we're together every day. And he hadn't told me that his girlfriend broke up with him. Not only did she break up with him, she broke up with him on January 1st. So in my mind, I'm thinking, well, at least you got a clean slate, and you can start the year off fresh. But then I'm mad. I'm like, why didn't you tell me? So my wife is asking, well, what'd you do? You try to rekindle? I said, oh, I've sent her flowers. I've sent her every flower you can do. I'm trying to bring it back together, blah, 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 blah. You know, I've sent her love notes, told her how pretty she was. And my wife's like, Todd hasn't sent me flowers in 16 years. So the first thing I think is, I'm like, man, if I failed as a husband, if I failed as a man, and then as I'm staring at her, something stood out to me. On her face, she had an $873 pair of Louis Vuitton glasses that 2 months ago, when I was in Las Vegas doing a podcast, I stopped to pick that up for her and a bottle of cologne for my son that they don't have back in Ohio. So as she's telling me I didn't buy her flowers, she has these glasses on her head. Now, at first, that story might sound a little arrogant, might sound in the wrong way. But after I sat back and I thought about that, I want to tell you what that means to me. We're both simple people. We both come from a little bit of poverty. Her family's a little better off than mine. But we don't get into, yeah, I have a Lambo and all that, but those things don't make me happy. I don't care about the big houses. I don't care about those things. Like, those things don't excite me. What excites me is the tiny things, the small stuff, the time with the family, the time on the boat, coaching my boys' basketball game, or just taking him fishing, or helping our daughter get off to college. Like, the small things are what resonates with us. And after that, I said, I have failed because I don't do the small stuff. I think that my gestures have to be these big things. They have to be the Louis Vuitton glasses, the exotic vacations, the 3-day spa treatment. Like, those are the things, speaking through money at times, I think is what makes me show her that I love her. In reality, she wants the tiny stuff. She wants the small things. So I'm going to stop at the gas station, get her keychain on the way out of... Let my slide real quick. Let me see if I get No, they just built one by my house, and I love the almonds. We're good. Give me one more if you would, Jason. Let's see if we can get through a couple of these guys. I want to tell you here, I do want to teach you a couple things, and I want you to be able to ask questions. So as I travel the country, as I mentor people, as I educate so many young entrepreneurs, there's some things that are very, very common. And there's some things that keep great people from being absolute legends. There's things that keep a lot of entrepreneurs from being just straight killers, okay? And they're common. I see them every day. The first one is comfortable success. And some of you in this room may be affiliate. As you're going through a job, a W-2 job, and you're trying to get promotions, and you're trying to get hired, or if you're an entrepreneur, and you're trying to build a business, you'll risk anything. You'll take any bet. You'll go as hard as you possibly can. But at some point, as you reach a certain level with your W-2, or in entrepreneurship, a certain level, you get comfortable. And with comfort comes a little bit of caution. All right, and I'm here to tell you that comfort will kill greatness all the time. And too often, we give up on that relentless pursuit that we started because we're a little bit comfortable. Number 2 is fear of risk and scale. The same thing, as you're climbing the ladder of work or building your entrepreneurship, you don't care. You'll take any risk, you'll take any bet, you'll take any challenge. You'll go as hard as you possibly need to do. But as you get bigger in entrepreneurship, or you get a higher job title, you have employees, you have payroll, you have reputations, you have things that you have to worry about. You're worried about whether they're going to beat you up or give you a bad review on your social media. And you stop pushing as hard as you possibly can. And that fear of risk at scale, that holds you down a little bit. The third thing, if you look, this is the big one, isolation at the top. And any of you that have had any success with a W-2 job or entrepreneurship, you know what this is. The higher position that you get, the larger your company gets, and the bigger you become lonely. There's nobody looking over your shoulder anymore. There's nobody challenging you. And when you get to a certain level, everybody around you either needs you or wants you, and everybody around you tells you what you want to hear. They stop telling you the truth. They stop telling you what you need to hear. So when you leave, no matter where you guys are at in your life, my challenge to everybody is always pretty simple. Surround yourself with people that will tell you the truth. People that will always bring you back down if you're in a different place that you shouldn't be. People that don't just say what you want to hear every single night. Now, Jonathan, you're going to hear from Jonathan a little bit later on, okay? How much time I got? I got so many stories. Jonathan's going to be up here a little bit later on. He's a celebrity brand strategist. He's a pastor. He does so much. He's an incredible guy. One of our close friends is Donnell Rawlings, famous comedian. I live in a little village, Yellow Springs, where Dave Chappelle and everybody lives at, so we're friends with them. But anyway, Donnell says, hey, Tom, you need some new clothes, man. You're getting ready to go speak on a couple stages. Let me hook you up with Jonathan to bring you some clothes. Well, that happened. I said, Jonathan, send me some stuff. A couple weeks ago, I get these green loafers in the mail, and I get these, I don't even know what they're called, but they have 3-inch heels, because if you can't tell, I'm short. He has this knit top that won't go down below my belly button. So I thought to myself, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna see what they say. I put it on in my bedroom. I got my tight jeans on. I walk in the hallway. Family, I've arrived. What do you think? I thought I looked good. My family did not. Miles, he didn't. They laughed at me for 4 hours back in our office about what I was wearing. Now, I'm not wearing it today, but if they wouldn't have stepped in, I might have worn the green loafers. Okay? But these things go much further than just business. They go much further than your clothing, right? Like, you're going to face so many challenges in your business or through your entrepreneurship or through real estate investing or whatever it is that you need people to step in and slap you across the face and say, stop, hold up, don't do that. Let's think about this. Let's take a 24-hour rule. Let's pause for 24 seconds, 24 hours, 24 minutes. Whatever it is, until you can come back down to earth, until you can think about things, and you can absolutely figure out the direction that you want to go. So, isolation at the top is real. And no matter how much money you have, no matter how much you grow in business, there are times when you are very, very lonely. People don't understand what you're going through. Even your family, even my wife. Now, I will say one of the best things in the world is when she became the CEO of our developmental disabilities company. Because her phone rang off the hook. She can no longer gripe at me for my phone going off because now my businesses were automated and I wasn't doing anything. So every Saturday or Sunday when she's at the field and she's texting her employees, I'm like, babe, I'm really trying to have breakfast with our family. Because I spent a decade having her in my ear mad at me that I was sacrificing family time to grow our businesses. But guys, even when you have a family member that's a CEO, they still don't understand exactly what you're going through. You have to have people that you can talk to. You have to have people that you can count on. Click that next slide, Jason, if you would. All right, I'm gonna run out of time, guys, but these are the 3 C's that I think are important for scaling your business. Clarity. Clarity creates momentum. You can't build what you can't define. You can't define what you can't see. Anybody believe that? Mm-hmm. You have to be able to talk into exactly what you want to happen in your business, in your life, in your relationship, in your world. And guys, capacity, the only way to scale capacity is through leadership. The only way to scale leadership is through being a visionary. You have to be the visionary. You have to be the visionary of your life. You have to be the visionary of your companies. Your people that work for you or work with you, they will never outgrow your vision. But you have to be the visionary. People are counting on you. If you have a company and you're in here today, people are counting on you to give them a vision. People are counting on you to pump that into them. People are counting on you to step in and say, this is what I want. Make it happen. Your people will never outgrow you. But sometimes your vision is too small. Sometimes your dreams are too small. And if they don't scare you, If you don't wake up in the morning at 4 in the morning thinking about something that you want to do in entrepreneurship or real estate investing or anything else, you gotta think what you're doing. Because the ones that are ultra successful, the ones that are the 1%, the ones that are 9-figure entrepreneurs, they can't sleep at night. They can't stand the thought of not figuring out how they're going to accomplish something else. Your mind is always on 150 miles an hour. And if your dreams don't scare you right now, change your dreams. Make them bigger, make them larger. That's my challenge to you. Dream as big as you need to dream for it to scare the absolute hell out of you. And courage. Courage is being unshakable. Courage isn't about being fearless. Courage is about moving forward even when you're fearful. Courage is this word right here, what Toby Potter's going to talk to you guys a lot about, what everybody else is mentioning. Courage doesn't mean that you can't have a lot of fear in you, but it's about being able to channel that fear and get it into the right place. Guys, when I bought my first real estate property, and I was going to flip my first property, and I was going to keep my first 4-unit building, I was scared as hell. But I said yes anyway. When I opened my first brokerage, I had no idea what I was doing, but I said yes anyway. When I quit my W-2 job and I decided to bet on myself, I had no idea where my next paycheck was going to come from. But I said yes anyway. When we built our first $4.5 million car wash, I didn't even wash my own car. But I said yes anyway. And when I stepped on the first stage to speak in front of a crowd of hundreds, I was petrified, scared as hell. But I said yes anyway. Because courage is contagious. And leadership and being a visionary means that you have to be courageous in front of the people that you expect to carry out your vision. Because if you're not courageous, if they don't see you as that person, if they don't see you as that leader, if they don't see you as the person that they want to follow, guys, your company will stay stalled. You'll never be able to get through the different breaks. Jason, click me. What do I got? Four minutes? Okay. That's a lot of time. We can do a lot in 4 minutes, guys. And I'm going to make some people mad in here, but I need you guys to have. I want you to read this for me. You have to find your passion, but it does not have to make you money. Follow what I say. And I want you guys to answer for me real quick. Money cannot buy happiness. If you find a job that you love, you will never. It's all bullshit. Okay? Be mad at me if you want. Money does buy happiness. Maybe not your happiness. Maybe it buys somebody else's happiness. And guys, there's one thing that I love doing. I love putting Lego sets together. My daughter Ava was down a couple weekends ago, and we had this big, huge spaceship that she wanted to put together. She's 17 years old. I'm 21. And I still love putting Legos together. I'm passionate about putting Legos together. I'll sit there till 5 in the morning, finishing it up. Guys, I've never made $1 putting Legos together. I don't love real estate, but that was the vehicle that got me to my wealth. I don't love luxury tunnel car washes. I don't even enjoy dealing with customers. That's not a passion of mine. We're in developmental disabilities and mental health. I'm not passionate about that. I love it. I love what we're doing. But your passion does not have to be the vehicle that creates your wealth. But when you believe that you don't have to make money, when you believe that you don't have to grow, and that you have to do something you love, and you try to convince everybody else that it doesn't matter how much money you make, you're lying to yourself and you're being selfish. Let me tell you why. Every church, every sports team, every youth organization, every nonprofit, how do they get their money? They get their money because somebody else decided to create wealth and give it back. Somebody, whether that's a company or whether it's somebody else. So if you don't want to drive a Lambo, if you don't want to live in a mansion, if you don't want to be rich, if you don't want to live some type of exotic lifestyle, fine. Do it for somebody else. Do it so you can have your church have the money back. Do it so that you can get back to a sports team. Do it so that you can give the inner city youth tennis shoes so they can play basketball. Do it for somebody else, but don't be selfish and try to pretend like money doesn't matter. Don't pretend like, I love my job, this is great. Your passion does not have to be your vehicle, but the vehicle has to be able to provide you the ability to do your passion. If you guys don't agree with me, I've been poor, I've been broke, I've been rich. I've been wealthy. I can tell you in a matter of a second which one I would choose. I promise you. I'm okay being poor again, because I'll rebuild it. But there will never be a day in my life that I will ever live without being able to produce the amount of money that I want to produce whenever I want to produce it. So if you're not doing it for yourself, do it for somebody else. Next slide. We got last slide? Last slide. All right, guys, I've shortened down a little bit, but listen. We started exactly where I'm going to finish. There's going to be a time when we all leave this earth. There's going to be left with that stone, and you're going to have two dates. There's going to be a dash between them. Somebody's going to look at that stone, maybe decades later, years later, and the only thing they're going to see is what you've accomplished in your life, your legacy. Your kids, they're going to be left with that legacy that you give them. What businesses have you started? What relationships have you created? How have you made people feel when they were in your presence? What neighbor have you helped when they couldn't shovel their sidewalk? What school did you donate money to? What church did you donate money to? How many times did you buy your wife a keychain from an Allen, Texas gas station to make her feel loved? What are the things that you've done to create that dash in your life? When they tell the story about your dash, is it going to say that you played it safe, that you lived a simple life? Or is it going to scream that you lived unshakable and that you lived a maxed out mindset that allowed you to break through any ceiling the minute that you reached it? And every time that you felt like you couldn't accomplish more, and every time you felt like you were at the top of your game, you found a way to crack one more ceiling, one more barrier. And if it wasn't for yourself, it was for somebody else. Guys, my name's Todd Holtz. Thank you for having me up here.
You know what's great about the dash? So many people have a way of telling that very similar concept, or they're talking about that very similar concept. What's interesting about everybody's life in the dash is it's all different. So it's one of those universal topics that when you can put something in there that makes life meaningful and the lessons around life, that's when a speech becomes powerful, and that's when storytelling is so incredibly important. Where'd Miles go? I don't know if Miles is still out there. The camera guy that broke up with the girlfriend, with the part that Todd left out, or the girlfriend broke up with him.
He's right here.
Where?
Right there.
Oh, there you go. So he left out the most important part of the story, from what I understand, is the reason why he was offended by it is because when you broke up, or you guys got broken up with on January 1st, turns out he didn't know until after Easter. When did you actually find out?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I found out yesterday.
All right. Oh, it's this, like this just happened. This is a fresh wound. You're laying it on, brother. And now I should not be, I thought this was like a year ago, 2 years ago. So I'm gonna make it a little lighter now because I wanna tell you why I'm gonna give you my Choco Taco story real quick, and then we're gonna go to our last speaker before lunch. The reason why I have an aversion to Choco Tacos, it's funny that you said this. In college, I lived in kind of a rough part of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and there was a convenience store right across me, and it was definitely not the best neighborhood on the planet. So I go downstairs and I was craving, it was college, I was probably drinking a little bit. It was late night and I really, really wanted a Choco Taco because I used to love Choco Tacos. So I'm going across the street and this woman's trying to talk to me and she's kind of like stumbling around. It's that neighborhood where she might have been on a couple things, and these guys just start yelling at me. He's like, "Dog, you messed up. You messed up." And I'm not gonna lie, I'm like 19, terrified of what this guy might be, whatever. It's like, "You messed up." What do you mean I messed up? You could have had that for $5. I just wanted a Choco Taco. I was 19 years old. I was from the county. I ran straight back across the street. Never got a Choco Taco ever again. And that is the truth. And I've never had a Choco Taco since that day 24 years ago. Expired or not. I think she was expired, but that's a different story. All right, we have our final speaker before lunch, and then we'll get out there. I think food will be served in about 20 minutes. Our final speaker of the morning, he's a mentor from Men's Quantum Leap Mentorship Program, also a cousin of the great Reuben West. Houston by way of Topeka, ladies and gentlemen, Raphael Posey!
I want you to look to the person on your left or your right and say, neighbor.
Neighbor.
It's almost lunchtime.
It's almost lunchtime.
And I'm hungry.
And I'm hungry.
But I promise.
But I promise.
But I promise.
But I promise.
We're gonna make it.
We're gonna make it.
And I tell you what, I am so excited to be here. Everything in its power try to keep me from being here. If you hear my voice, I do not always sound like Weezy Jefferson. But when I told myself that I was going to fight through and nothing was going to keep me from this opportunity. And so I am a sports guy. I grew up, my life was within sports. And so I always thought that once I got older, sports was life's best teacher. And so as I went through and thought about my career in high school, I was a two-sport athlete. I could have went to college and played either sport, basketball or football. And I chose to play basketball. But what I understood is that I couldn't have got to that place without Ken Darden, Dwayne Williams, Hank Harris, Jerry Brew. Never would have happened without those guys being in my life, helping me along the way. And I decided I was going to play basketball in college, and I had the dream of going to a Division I school. But when I got to my senior year, those opportunities weren't there. So dream deferred, but not deleted. And so I went to JUCO, and I had coaches, John Stuckey, Jack Owens, that helped me along the way to elevate me to get to where I ultimately wanted to get. And so then my next stop was at the University of San Antonio, where Tim Carter, Brandon Johnson, they helped me get to and accomplish those things that I wanted to accomplish. And so being that, I've always wanted to give back and help out people that were in my situation, especially the youth. And so I want to talk to you about a few things that I like to talk to them about to help them along the way. And one thing about being here on this stage, and that I've learned, and why I made sure I wanted to be here, is because what happens is some people come here to learn, and some people come here to confirm. And what I've confirmed today is that one of the things I'm going to talk about, two other people have already talked about. Being prepared. See, being prepared is the attitude of working towards something or an opportunity that is not in existence. How many of us have had that coworker, or that friend, or even that family member, or maybe it's even you? We have entrepreneurs here, maybe it's an employee, where they take on the attitude of, hey, can you do this? They want me to do this. That's not in my job description. I don't get paid to do that, right? They're not preparing for something. See, in 1997, Steve Kerr was a member of the Chicago Bulls. And it's game 6, and they're sitting in a timeout. Tie game with 25 seconds left. And if anybody knows around that time, the greatest basketball player to ever walk the face of earth was on that team. And in this huddle, Michael Jordan is telling everybody, hey, my name is Michael Jordan, in case you didn't know. And this is my time, and this is what I do. So give me the ball and just get out the way. Steve Kerr had the gumption in this game 6, in that process, and lean over and tell Michael Jordan, he said, hey, MJ, when they come, I'll be ready. So to understand the importance of that statement, and in that moment, I have to take you back to game 4 of that same series. It's tied, or the Bulls are up 2-1. Steve Kerr has a chance to hit a shot to ultimately win the game and doesn't. So now the series is tied 2-2. Game 5. Who's heard of Murphy's Law? Raise your hand. So for Steve Kerr, Murphy's Law showed his face. Everything that could go wrong or can go wrong went wrong. Steve Kerr went 0 for the night, meaning he did not make a single shot he attempted. Word has it that after the game, he even went to the ocean and tried to throw a rock in it and missed that too. So now fast forward back to game 6.
because he had the greatest player alive, they still ended up winning game 5. So now go back to game 6, and he leans over and he tells Michael Jordan, hey, if they come, I'll be ready. So if you're Michael Jordan, you're thinking, dude, you just missed a shot in game 4. You couldn't throw a rock in the ocean in game 5. Why would I ever throw you the ball? But see, unlike some of your employees that you may have, that coworker that wasn't preparing for the opportunity that was to come, because those same people, when those promotions were coming, complained because they weren't even considered. But what they don't understand is the boss seen that they weren't preparing for a position that they might want and that they didn't currently see. So they break the huddle, and just like they had prepared, Michael Jordan gets the ball, they go to double team, he steps through, sees Steve Kerr wide open, and just like he's seen Steve Kerr do over the last 2 or 3 years, come to the gym early, put up and make shots, prepare for a moment he didn't know was going to exist, he throws him the ball. He hits the game winner, and the Bulls go on to be back-to-back champions for the second time in franchise history. Another thing that I like to talk about, one of my favorite quotes, is a footstep begins the journey of 1,000 miles. And it always takes me back to a place or a time where I was the assistant branch manager at a bank. I was making decent money, but I wasn't happy. I wasn't satisfied. I didn't feel like I was living with a purpose. And I had just been newly married 2 years. I just had my oldest daughter, Riley. She was about 1. And I wanted to move back to Texas. I played ball at University of Texas San Antonio, as I said. And my best friend, who was coaching, he was an athletic director at a school, calls me. And he says, hey, Pose, I have an opportunity. I can hire you at a position that fits your certification. And if you can get down here and interview soon, you have a good chance of getting this job. Now, the catch was, I needed to go interview like yesterday. And so I'm thinking, okay, well, let me call my wife. I call her. I remember I was on my lunch break, sitting in my cherry red Chevy Cavalier. I said I was making decent money. I'm not tired, folks. And so I said, hey, Dave just called me. There's an opportunity for us to move to Texas. I can start coaching with them. I said, but the only thing is, I've got to go interview within the next 2 days. These flights are crazy. Because of the timetable, I couldn't drive. It was about an 11-hour drive from where I was living. And she said, well, whatever you want to do, I'll support you. And I said, well, I need you to understand something. If I buy this ticket, when I get back, I don't know if I can afford to pay attention. So I need you to understand, if I do this and it doesn't work, the position I'll be in. And she confirmed, she said, listen, if this is something you really want to do, I'll support you. But even then, I was fighting with myself. Deep down, I wasn't comfortable making this decision. So then I called my cousin Ruben. I said, Ruben, I need some advice. He said, shoot. I said, my best friend Dave, you remember him? He has his position. I need to go down and interview. I have to fly out in like 2 days. But I don't know if I can afford this. I said, and I feel extremely bad if I take this chance, if I take this step, and it doesn't work out. And then there was a pause over the phone as if he was trying to concentrate on what I said. And then the next voice I heard, or the next words I heard from him, he said, but what if it does? He said, do you know why they say the cemetery is the wealthiest place on earth? Because so many people die with $1 million ideas waiting
for everything to align. They die with what they call analysis paralysis. Nothing's perfect. The stars didn't line up. Oh, well, the babies don't have this, so I can't go justify spending this. He said, but one thing I can guarantee is that if you don't go, you'll never know. Say, take the step.
Take the step.
And that's exactly what I did. I booked my flight. A day later, I flew out to Austin, drove an hour to a place called Welder, Texas. I go in, I'm interviewing with the athletic director, the principal, and the assistant principal. And you know, we're going through the interview process. Why should we hire you? What do you bring to the table? How can you help our community? Things of that nature. And so I get through. They say, okay, we'll be in contact. Okay, I tell my friend, hey, I'll see you later. I'm walking out. And as I'm walking down the sidewalk, I hear this angelic voice. And it says, hey, tall, dark, and handsome. And I said, who, me? It said, yes, you. I said, couldn't be. She said, then who? I said, you know what? You have never told a lie a day in your life. I am on my way. And so then they escort me into this room. And now there's the superintendent. There is the assistant principal, the principal's secretary. And now I'm like, well, what's going on? So I think it's just maybe a second interview, a part of the process. And so I sit down with no understanding of what's about to happen. And they said, the committee has met. And we want you to come be a part of our Welder family. See, that would have never happened if I didn't take the step. And see, so at that point, I was raised in the church and it just hit me. I said, it says you can't let your fear outweigh your faith. See, Les Brown says, don't fear everything and run, but face everything and rise. And those are things that you have to do in those situations. And so it is just so important when I talk to these kids and get them to understand all the cards may be stacked against you. All the stars may not be aligned. But if you don't take the step, but when you take the step, make sure you're prepared. Who knows what windows are going to close on you. See, opportunity doesn't always knock on everyone's door. Sometimes it just sits in silence and waits to be recognized. And so the next time you think opportunity is knocking at your door, and you look through the peephole and see that it's wearing overalls and looks like work, are you going to be prepared to take advantage? Thank you.
Thank you, babysit this morning. Unshakable.
Yes, sir.
Are you hungry?
Yes, Unshakable.
It was a cue to say the exact same thing. Are you hungry?
Yes, sir.
Starving. All right, we're going to be doing lunch. Before I send you guys out there, it's ready, I believe, correct? Okay, it smells like it is. Go look, it's good. Brandy's good. Almost un poquito, a minute. All right, so really quick. So what we're going to do after lunch, we've got some breakout sessions. A reminder, during lunch, great time for networking. Obviously, we've got a great group. Earlier, I couldn't break up the networking, get to meet the people from places maybe near you or far from you. Sound good? Perfect. With that said, the other reminder I have is when you go out there, if you are coming tomorrow, remember to put your name down for that 9 to 12 sessions with the Mr. Unshakable himself, Toby Potter and friends. That guy right there.
Yes,
Medication
sir.
warehouse. How you doing? Doing good?
I'm doing good. Man, medication is amazing.
Is amazing. I'm going to go ahead and have Todd, I'm going to have you create a Dayton, Ohio tourism video. Because now that we found out that you apparently can't get fancy sunglasses in Dayton, you have to get them in Vegas or Cologne. It's like, well, honey, I brought this all the way back from the West Coast. These are the fancy things they wear out there. Welcome to Dayton. Maxed out.
Be a mini-series.
The whole mini-series.
Yeah.
It's like, well, it's in the Cleveland video that was like, at least we're not Detroit. It could be Dayton. At least we're not Cleveland. Something like that. And you guys have a minor league baseball team now, so that's a big deal. All right, we're going to let you guys start your networking and then work